oh, that's so like bad for me to say, like, because I feel like, oh my God, that just so, I've never said it. Like, I've never said it out loud.
Say it again for me.
No. I've just never said this. Like, I feel basically, I've just been conditioned to have violence in the bedroom.
Miss Jessie Woo!
Your sister, Jessie Woo. There's a group of people on the internet who know me from talking about zozo, zozo, zozo. It's like, it's a very vulgar way of saying dick in Creole. I was actually making jokes about my bad experiences, especially like as a Black woman, like I should get the best love, I should have the best sex. So I know that logically, but that's not like messaging that I grew up with, that's not messaging that I gave myself.
You don't have to have everything figured out to be loved and to find love. To be in the love story of your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to sort through all the pain and the trauma alone.
Yep. I look at what's going on now in the news and different trials that are happening and just how kids, women are just not believing, even men. Well, I'm not the only person. Somebody's gonna watch this and be like, that's me, you know what I mean? And I feel like that there's power in that.
Sac passe. All right, let's figure out what we're gonna talk about.
I feel like I'm still learning. I'm still finding myself, especially like sexually. And you know, I've had some stuff happen when I was a kid. Yeah, maybe we can talk about from then to now and like what I hope to be sexually or just me in the future, like what I hope to be.
You believe it's magic.
And you're in a relationship right now too?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. Love of my life. I look forward to spending like my life, this life, and other lives together, if that's a thing. But yeah, great relationship.
It sounds like you feel like you're finally in a safe enough space where you can figure this out.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's a lot to have to figure out by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I feel like I'm in a safe space. I feel like I'm with somebody who's very willing to not only like support me, like, you know, as I figure things out or do the work, but also like do the work with me.
You're not in this alone.
No, I'm not.
I love that.
No, I'm not, yeah.
And you can take your time.
Yes, I could take my time.
That's what good sex is supposed to be.
Period.
I just watched one of your podcast episodes and I was like, I didn't know if I misunderstood you, but I feel like you said Haitian men are romantic.
Yes.
But not in long-term relationships. Like you didn't see that in the house.
I thought it was just a me thing, but when I talk to other Haitian women, we don't see our mothers being romanced inside the home. Like, they don't show you them kissing each other. You don't see, you know, her getting her butt slapped. Like, you don't see, you know, like the tenderness, the affection. It's kind of something that they keep under wraps, like sex under wraps, like, you know, romantic affections under wraps. You know, and even you as a daughter, it's like, don't have sex, you know, which means like, if you're gonna love on top, not at the bottom. But then it's like, you know, you turn 30 and it's like, where my grandkids at? You told me, that's what I've been doing. Like, so I feel like in our culture, it's kind of like this thing, it's like sex is very taboo and you don't really talk about sex like that. You don't explore sexual topics like that. And also like just love, it's a very like, I almost want to, I mean, some people are not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I feel like love, like in my culture, it's almost like violence almost. Like, it's very much like, do as I say, because I love you. Like, it's very much like, tek. It's not like, things are not communicated in love in a soft way. It's very much, and so, yeah, that's how I saw love in my culture, in my home, and when I speak to other women who are Haitian, they feel the same. Yeah.
Is your man Haitian?
He's not. He looks like it. He looks African. I thought he was either Haitian or African, but he's actually from North Carolina. He's Black man, Southern man. I always told myself if I didn't have someone from the Caribbean. I couldn't do a Haitian, I'm so sorry. I've done Haitian men, but I can't, Lord, I can't. The therapy bill. But I always said if I didn't do someone else from like the Caribbean or from Africa, I wanted a Southerner. Like I've always loved Southern men, like the men from North Carolina, South Carolina. So he's really everything I've ever wanted.
I love that.
Yeah.
Healthy relationship,
Yeah.
happy relationship, and also
I think I struggle with like my sexuality a little bit. Like when I was coming here, I was thinking about it, like just what it's been like for us sexually. And I think that we have like our ebbs and flows. Like, there's sometimes we have our highs, sometimes we have our lows. And I just was thinking about like what brings that about. And I remember one time I said, why don't you let me bathe you? And he was like, what? I was like, can I take you a shower? And he was like, okay. And so we're in the shower and like, he starts to shower. I'm like, no, let me do it. And so I started rubbing everything and literally like from his head to like the soles of his feet. And I just scrubbed him down and just I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But like the way he looked at me that day, and I had never done that. I don't know what prompted me to say that to him. And I feel like we connected in a way we had never connected before, and I had never connected that way with anyone ever in my life. But then outside of him, like he was my first relationship in like 6 years. Mm-hmm. And I've never really been like a super sexual person. So I could go years and years and years and not have sex and not think about like myself sexually, like honestly. And then now I feel like, dang, I can't do that. Like, because I have to think about this person. I have to consider this person. And so I kind of feel like I'm kind of just in this space where I'm like, okay, like, I'm just thinking about like career. What am I doing? Like, the industry is stupid right now. Like, it's just a lot going on. And then like every now and then I'm like, oh, but I got sucked dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's not good. It's just not a good place to be, especially like when you really love somebody and that person is showing up for you constantly. I just think that I maybe have a lot of work to do internally.
You said something to me that I don't think a lot of people say, but I think a lot of people feel. Because when we were talking about what we were going to talk about, you were like, I just don't think I think about this part of my life.
I don't.
What does that mean?
I don't really think about like sex like that. I think that I was introduced to sex so violently that I don't think of it like that. Like, I don't think of it as something of importance like that. And it's funny because there's a group of people on the internet who know me from talking about zozo, zozo, zozo. It's like, it's a very vulgar way of saying dick in Creole. And a lot of like my jokes in the beginning of my like social media presence, I was actually making jokes about my bad experiences with having sex, but so many people are like, oh my God, she's always talking about sex. And it's like, if you actually listen to the material, it was me always giving like a horror story. Like, I've had a lot of horror stories on top of the way I was introduced to it. Like, I was introduced to sex by a family member. Like, I was probably like 4 years old, and this was an older cousin of mine. And I didn't realize what had happened to me until I was 9 years old. And I went to go stay at my aunt's house. And mind you, my mom was very strict. She didn't let me do like sleepovers or anything like that, but there was one aunt who she would allow me to go, to her home. It's her sister. And like, there was one time when I went over there and she put me in this back room with her elderly dad. I thought it was so weird, but she put me in this back room and that's where I slept for the night. And in the middle of the night, I thought I had a nightmare, but I saw someone come and like try to take my clothes off. And in the dream, I'm like fighting the person off. And then, so I guess I fall back asleep. I wake up the next day and I see, you know, my aunt's dad. And I'm like, did you try to, you know, I'm 9, like I don't really have the language, but I'm like, you tried to touch me. And he's dumbfounded, and I'm like, so I go to my aunt, I'm like, your dad tried to touch me, and she's like, no, there's no way. And like it's turned into this big thing, and then my cousin, my cousin who's also my godmother, she comes out of her room, and my other cousin comes out of her room too. And I look at him, and I just had this like, it was like, you know how Raven used to have the, like, it was like this, and I'm like, I see, when I was like 4 years old, I see me in a bathtub, and I see this man touching me. I'm like, and I said to him, you did it. You tried to touch me last night. And he said to me, till this day, I don't understand this response, but he said to me, I don't need you anymore. It was just like this crazy response that I didn't understand as a 9-year-old. And so, you know, I tell my mom what happened, and nobody believed me. But I remember my mom telling that cousin, she said, you know, if you did touch Jessica, you will lose that hand. And years later, in a freak accident, he lost his hand, literally. But I feel that that was like the foundation of sex for me, was this very dark thing. And then I started having all these other flashbacks. Like there was a neighbor who used to watch me, and she used to touch me. And there was one day when she brought her brother over, and she had me touch her brother in his private parts. So it just was like this thing where it just was introduced to me very violently. And then on top of that, I think just in my culture, just the whole don't have sex, don't get pregnant. I know that's not just a Haitian thing, but just in ours, it's like very much like everything is like a woman's fault, like everything, you know, especially like in that realm. And so it just wasn't an enjoyable thing for me.
That fucking sucks.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks. It's just so vile and unthinkable and shitty, and to put you at such a disadvantage on your own body and access to your own pleasure and your own humanity, because this is how we all got here.
Yeah.
To put such a, not even a stain on it, to put a tear in it like that is just, it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Tell me about it. It does. Like, it fucking sucks. And sometimes I do hear how women do talk about, you know, sex. And I'm like, damn, I just, you know, I want to show up like that, especially right now, because like I have someone who deserves it. Like, I am in the best relationship of my life. Like, I don't see a world without this person. I don't see my life without this person. And so sometimes I do feel like, unfortunately, maybe some of the things that I'm dealing with internally, you know, translates into what we have going on. And so I just want to be better, you know, and get over that hump.
I just want to say how unqualified I am to be having this conversation with you. I am fascinated by your strength, by your resilience, by your story, by the confidence you have to share it. I do not have experience working with sexual assault survivors. I would highly recommend someone, Jimanekia Eborn. I always refer people to her. She has a website, it's called trauma.love. And because I think that everything sounds like it makes perfect sense to me. One thing I do know about people who experience sexual assault, especially in their childhood years, is that there is a direct relationship with how much your parent or your parental community talks about sex with the likelihood of being assaulted. And people who have conversations with their parent about sex and moreover can label their body parts correctly are significantly less likely to be sexually assaulted, because abusers look for people who they can shame and use weaponized secrecy against. Because they're like, if you can't say your own body part, that means you have no one to talk to about this with, which means that you are perfect for me to prey on you. So it doesn't surprise me that people have seen this vulnerability in you, and the wrong person has continuously found you for that reason.
Yeah.
And you pray that somebody like Mr. Easter, comes along.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is that often these manipulative people, like that's even that line that your cousin said to you, which I don't even want to know if you want to use the word cousin, but that I'm done with you now is just.
Yeah. I don't need you anymore. But come to find out, I wasn't the only one in the family.
Right.
So when he said that to me, it's because he moved on to others.
Yes.
That bedroom that he came out of, he moved on to someone else. Like, it just is so evil. It's so evil. But what you said does make sense, because I feel like, it's something that I haven't really, it's not something that was discussed. And it wasn't, and even, like, women get backlash online every day for talking about their sexual experiences, but I mean, I got a lot of backlash from my family, like with the content where I was talking about it. And even then, even now, like sometimes I'll say something and I'll get a phone call and I'm just like, yo, like, I'm grown. Like, I am grown. And I am building in my own community a space where I can talk to people about things that everyday people go through. I'm not the only person. Somebody's gonna watch this and be like, that's me. You know what I mean? And I feel like that there's power in that, knowing that there's somebody out there who knows exactly like what you've experienced. And I think that's just part of my way of like getting to the other side,
Can I just say how amazing and inspiring it is that even at a young age, the day of, you spoke up and advocated for yourself?
Yeah.
Because most people who don't disclose about their abuse, when they do finally disclose, they're not believed.
Yeah.
So if their suspicion was, I'll be blamed, I won't be believed, and I will be judged because of this, years later when they finally get the courage, oftentimes that suspicion is realized. So the fact that you, though, had that knowledge that even though nobody empowered you with this is your body, your right, your choice, your body is beautiful and incredible, your body is sacred, you knew that that wasn't right, and you stood up for yourself. Even if nobody heard you, I think like going back to high five your old self, like you stood up for yourself.
Yeah. But a lot of pain came with that. It's like now as an adult, I can look back. I've never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way, that day I did stand up for myself, but again, like nobody believed me. And I feel like there's a lot of shame that comes with that when, especially like in a place where you're with your family and your family doesn't believe you. Like your family doesn't, and for years and years and years, it was a thing. And, there's been other family members who've gone through that and they weren't believed. And I think I feel good that I did that, but also the knowledge of why wouldn't you believe me? Like, why the fuck would a 9-year-old say that? Mm-hmm. Nobody thought to have that conversation with me. Because even after that, nobody checked on me to say, what happened? Like, what really happened? Are you okay? Do we need to get you to talk to nobody? And I feel like that's kind of been a theme of my life. Not just in that area, but just a theme of my life. Like when I've spoken up about things, or it's just, I hardly will get that, like, let me help you, or are you okay? Like, it's just, I have that now in my relationship. Thank God. Thank the Lord. But that's not something that I've ever gotten.
Mm-hmm. And like a way you can look at yourself as a progression from where your parents came from, because they were so afraid to talk about it, so deathly afraid to talk about it, to look at it, to consider it, that they would rather not protect their child than talk about it.
Yeah, literally.
And that commonality is that like deep-seated fear, shame, guilt.
Oh yeah.
And just like, I can't even look. Mm-hmm. And even if on the other side of looking is protecting my child, that's how afraid I am of this topic.
Children don't just say stuff like that.
Yes.
And I think even now, like I look at what's going on now in the news and different trials that are happening, and just how kids, women are just not believed, even men, even boys. Sometimes I look at boys in our community and I'm like, nobody cares about boys. Mm-hmm. so many boys experience sexual violence too, and I think when it comes to boys, it's like, well, you a man now. You got your dick sucked, you a man. It's like, no, that man, that boy was statutorily raped, like, you know what I mean? So,
Or if he had his dick sucked by another man. Right? Yeah.
it's so many things, and I feel like boys just, nobody cares. So
You said something to me of like, I feel like I'm not giving my best to this relationship. And what I said to you is that, like, you know, best is relative, right? Like I put it in the terms of like running. Like your best is the best that you can do. But for you, you're giving your best. You just know that in order for you to really reach your potential, there's a lot of work that you have to do.
yeah,
And I can't even imagine to experience that, but to have to go back to it.
Yeah.
Must be like, no, thanks.
I just really didn't care. Like I could go years and years and years without touching someone, without being touched, and be fine. And I think, again, like now that I'm in a relationship, you can't really do that. You know, like you do have to be considerate of this other person and their needs, and especially when you have somebody who's very considerate of mine. Like I've never had someone who like puts me on a pedestal like that, you know? And so, yeah, I think that it sucks, but I think I'm gonna get better. Like I see myself getting better.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even, from what you've been through, to be sitting here as you are, telling the story as you just did, you had to have already done an immense amount of work.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that you have every right to believe that, like, no, my best is going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
Because I have visibility on what's going on.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I can name it. So I think that that's something beautiful. I'm curious about the, like, wanting to get better still for somebody else versus wanting it for you. Did you think that as survival, you had to deprioritize it and make it something that didn't matter? Because if it did, then my God, how much more horrific was that experience?
I think you have a point. I think you have a point that maybe because of that, I did kind of push it to the wayside. I mean, it just was not something that was. It wasn't something that I believed was pleasurable because of my experiences with it. You know, so it made it easy for me to be like, yeah, I don't have to do this. Like, I don't have to do this. And also, too, when I look at, like, when I first was having sex, a lot of it was very much, well, let me go ahead and do this, you know. Let me go ahead and give him a little coochie. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of was like that. And, so yeah, it just was not like something that I thought was like for me. It wasn't something I thought was for me. And like logically, I know that sex is for you. Like it's for both people. But as a woman, I know like logically, this is something that is supposed to be very pleasurable for you. It's supposed to be a happy experience. You deserve pleasure, like you deserve that. But that's not like messaging that I grew up with. That's not messaging that I gave myself. You know what I mean? So, you know, it wasn't like that for me.
But that's messaging you have now.
Yes.
So where did you get that from?
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like logically, like when I think about it, like I feel like you're supposed to get the best out of everything. Like that's how I feel like logically as a woman, I feel like I should get the best out of everything just because I exist. Like especially like as a black woman, like I should get the best love. I should, you know, have the best time. I should have the best career. I should have the best family. I should have the best sex because I merely exist. Like I'm existing. So I know that logically. Yeah.
And so that feels like a key component, I think, to things is the F word, which is frustration. Because if you don't feel sex drive, if you don't feel the drive to masturbate, to self-pleasure.
I've never masturbated. And what's crazy is Lord, I do not know. Oh my God. I don't know like where my G-spot is. I don't know none of this stuff. I don't know. And these are things I've never really, like after I tried masturbating twice, I was like, okay, I never really cared to discover. It's like, if it happens, it happens. When it happens, it happens. But I've never cared to be like, okay, what does this button do?
Yes.
I've never cared to do that.
I actually heard my sister talk about this yesterday, about this concept of like hidden competing agreements, where we have another competing agreement that we don't have visibility over that explains why we're not doing something. So the gap between, because at the end of the day, you're not here to learn where the G-spot is. I could literally just like, I can get you my little vulva puppet, we can get it popping, right?
Yeah.
I could talk to you about your clitoris, I could talk to you about your erogenous zones, I could talk to you about your erogenous zones.
Oh, okay.
Which are just like areas in your body that are wired to receive sexual pleasure.
Okay,
So
period.
when you experience this behind the knee, there is like a sexual nature to that. If I gave you a lower back massage, I'm massaging your pudendal nerve, which goes through out your coccyx, through your genitals, and then gets to your anus, to your clitoris, and inside the vagina. So a lower back massage can feel sexual in nature because you're hitting an erogenous zone.
Well, I ain't never had that, child.
Right. But even if you did, I think that there's a hidden competing agreement of something else. Like, for example, somebody who hears you're pre-diabetic, and if you don't stop eating these foods, like, you're going to have severe health issues. That person may still not do that because their hidden competing agreement is comfort. So
And food gives comfort.
And food gives comfort. Yeah. So there's something in between there that's not about self-sabotage or laziness or lack of interest or lack of care, but there's something for your survival that is more important than pleasure that's sitting in between where you're at now and where you logically know you're supposed to go.
Damn, that was good.
I don't know what that is or how to help you
I
find
don't know what it is either.
And I think this is where we can go.
I don't know what it is either. But that was good. That was good, Shan.
Thanks.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was good. That really opened me. Yeah. That's good.
I think where I felt inspired by your story, and it was in that you don't have to have everything figured out to be loved and to find love. To be in the love story of your life.
Yeah.
You don't have to sort through all the pain and the trauma alone.
Yep.
And you don't even have to know how you're going to do it. And you could still have an amazing, healthy, connected relationship. Can you tell me, like, how did you guys get there? Did you divulge your history really early on?
Very early. Very, very early. Our first date was Easter last year. Literally, our first date was church on Easter and brunch afterwards, and it was like, that was like a week and a half after meeting each other. Like, there was one day where I just asked him.
That's why you call him Easter.
That's why I call him Mr. Easter.
Understood.
Yeah. But his name's Jay Allen. But yeah, no, I immediately, like, when we sat in that Mexican spot, I can't even tell you what restaurant it is. I don't know what was happening. All I know is, like, for 4 hours, we were just locked in, and we were just like telling each other so much. And it wasn't like trauma bonding. It was like where we're both trying to go, some of the things that we've experienced that we don't want to, pass down to our kids. Like, these are the type of conversations we were having. And like, it just felt like I had found, like, I knew that day that he was it. From the jump, he was very open. He was very emotionally safe. He just was a safe place for me. And not just for me to share things that, were bad or that bothered me, but even just to laugh. Like, we laugh at the same things. Like, the things that we bond over, I've never been able to bond like that with other people. We speak our own language. Like, if you get around us, and he knows me inside out. Like, there's been times I've told him, I'm like, I'm kind of jealous of you because, like, you're doing this better. Like, there's been times when I've gotten upset. I'm like, like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, you're doing this way better than me. And I'm like, okay, how do I show up? And he'll be like, this is not a tit for tat. Like, let me love you. You can let your guard down. This is how you're supposed to be loved. Like, let me love you. Let me love on you. He'll let me love on you. Like, and it's just a great place. Like, He's my safe place. Safe place. I love that man. Like, I honestly, I can't see my life without that man, because he's not just like my lover, he's my friend. He's also like done things for me that have healed even like father wounds. Just the way he hovers over me and like he protects me and he watches over me. Like, I just feel so good. It's just a good feeling. Good feeling.
Easter. You're fucking
Mr.
incredible.
Easter. Yeah,
Mr.
he is.
Easter, you're incredible.
Yeah.
What a beautiful testimony, and like what a gift to be filled up in that way. And I'm not, I don't have like a clear belief system. And I don't know if I understand that there's a God or what that is. But in what you were saying, what stuck out to me is that God must know you so well and know exactly what you need, because it seems like, well, if you have this partner who's knows you better than you know yourself, who's helping you to heal things that you didn't even have visibility on, well, why can't they fix this part of you? And then the other thought is, well, because this is something that you get to do for yourself. Not that you have to do, but that you get to, for the first time, take ownership over your sexuality, which was taken from you at such a very young age. That agency, that sense of like, I know what's right for me. I know what feels good. I know what happened to me.
Yeah.
And now in your adult years, would it be lovely to have somebody who just did it for you again? But I think what you need is the space to really do it for yourself.
I'm glad you said that. I feel like that's kind of, and I've said this to him too, like, I was just so used to like men kind of just coming in and doing what they please.
Yes.
That's what I was used to. Like, and for the first time, I don't have that. And maybe that's another thing. Like, I've thought about that even recently. Like, I was so used to men coming in and do this, do that, and pushing me around, or, you know, like just doing shit that I didn't ask for, or I didn't know, like, you know, like, and for the first time, I do have somebody who's very gentle and very considerate. And sometimes I'm like, even down to consent, like my last sexual experience before Mr. Easter was someone, you know, doing it without a condom, without my consent. You know what I mean? It's like, well, like, you know, just, why wouldn't you want my bare dick in you? You know what I mean? Like that. And that's just what I've been used to. Like, as I'm saying it out loud, it's so bad. It's like, it's disgusting. But I think that, like, when you're used to experiencing certain things and then you experience like the healthy thing, you're like, okay, what do I do with this? Like, I think that's where I've been like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I've experienced so much being thrown around, there's times when I've had like people be angered at me during sex. Like, I've experienced some really, just when I look back, it just hasn't been good. It hasn't been good, but I thought, okay, well, this is just what it is. Like, this is just what it is, and all right, you know, and now I'm not there anymore, and I don't know what to do with that. Oh, that's so like bad for me to say, like, because I feel like, oh my God, I've never said it out loud.
Say it again for me.
No. I've just never said this. Like, I feel like I've just been conditioned to have violence in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that I don't have that, I'm just like,
what do I do?
Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that's a little epiphany that I just had.
1 in 3 people are relating to you right now. And maybe even 2/3 of them don't even know how to have a hope for a healthy relationship because of all the pain, the anger, the trauma, the scar tissue. And so as somebody who is not on the other side of it, because you're still having to heal that wound, and it is still very much a wound, but you found yourself in a healthy partnership and you've given them visibility over what you're going through. How do you do it? This episode is sponsored by me because why not? Did you know that Lovers is more than a podcast? It's an entire suite of tools designed to help you reach your intimate potential. Like there's Shay. You can ask my AI anything, or as I call her, Shay. Sign up for my weekly newsletter or check out my free resource library of quizzes and worksheets at loversbyshan.com. Want more? Join the Lovers community for $20 a month. This is a space to connect with others who share our passion, book one-on-one time with me, join weekly classes, and even be a part of the podcast. Okay, that's a whole lot of information, but here's the bottom line. If you are ready to enjoy the journey of creating a euphoric, intimate life as much as you're going to enjoy the destination, then head over to loversbyshan.com, and I'll see you there. How do you do it?
You said something earlier, which was like, you don't have to have everything figured out to be in a healthy relationship. And I feel like a lot of people believe the opposite, that, okay, let me go fix myself. I gotta be totally healed. I gotta be, totally perfect. And to be honest, like, a relationship is a journey. Like, it's a journey that we're both going on. And I'm not responsible for your happiness, but, I can walk side by side as you find it. As long as like it doesn't hinder me, as long as you're not hurting me, and that's just not my experience, like with this relationship. There's nothing that man can do to hurt me. Like, honestly, I believe that there's nothing that man could do. I feel like if you woke up one day and you saw we wasn't together, just know I did it. just know I did it, because that man, there's nothing he could do to hurt me. And I think that's just because I know you don't believe in God, but I believe, like, I truly believe that.
I can tell.
Yeah. I truly believe that God, like, really had me in mind, like, when he created him. So I feel that, it's just, I just show up. Like, it's just an innate thing at this point.
The, like, sigh of relief, the sense of calm and connect, from going from violent to violent to violent to violent to having to protect yourself, to expect the worst. And to like expect the worst, like that's normal.
Yeah.
To go from that to, I don't believe this person would ever hurt me.
Yeah.
That's a really large leap. And a lot of people will even get into a safe relationship after all of those experiences, because you're only a year in and still have that residual, this person's going to hurt me, or waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
So to be able to open yourself up, that is both a credit to your partner and also a credit to you, and the faith that you have and like what is really true for you.
Yeah.
Despite what you've experienced, what's really true for you and what's really in store for you.
Yeah.
And I know you said you don't know where you got that from, but wherever you did, if it's God or if it's the community of women around you, the community of Black women that you have seen receive everything, is just amazing and in itself like a masterclass.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I'm happy that I'm there. And I just look forward to us just getting better and better and better and better. Like, I feel like, again, like, relationships are a journey. There's so much about him that I still have yet to know. Like, I know we're talking about sex, but even sexually, sometimes I've asked him, and I think because he's just so, like, he's very conservative and very considerate, but like, I've asked him to do certain things and he's like, no. And I'm like, I feel like we have so many more levels to uncover, and I look forward to doing that.
I loved you can hear your story about washing each other, because it just spoke to intimacy.
Yes.
Right? Like, that is huge. And maybe the reason why that felt accessible to you is because it was just that. It was physical in nature.
Yeah.
But it was more deeply emotional and intimate.
That's what I need. And even in us, I feel like we're missing that, because like in the last couple months, it's just been so, we're here, we're there, we're here, we're there. Like, it's just a lot of ripping and running. And I'm just a person that I think when I look at just how I sexually function, you can't just turn the key. I wish I was like more of a turn the key, because like, I see sometimes you watch the movies and people, they fucking in the bathroom, like at the restaurant. I can't do that. Like, they airport, I can't do that. Like, you gotta work me. And I feel like sometimes, life doesn't really permit that. Like, your schedule doesn't really permit that. And it's like, then our sex life kind of falls by the wayside. And I don't know, maybe that's something like, maybe I need to figure out, okay, how do I modify? But that's just who I am. Like, I need that. Like, I need the showers.
Yes.
I need the showers. I need the moments that are gonna make me cry. Like, that's what I need. And I'm a very emotional person. Like, I'm a very emotional person. I'm ruled by my emotions. I need to feel like we're in a deeper sphere, and the moments where we've had that, those moments have been the best sex of my life. Mm-hmm. Those moments have been the best sex of my life. Like, those moments where it's a little tear being shed, like, and I'm looking at him and he all right, he just, whoo, like, and I feel like we just need to be more intentional going forward about, like, just really, like, setting that time aside so that we can do more of that.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely would be the advice I would give you if I didn't know what your backstory was, right? Like, but I think in knowing how much harm was done to you, I think it's very understandable that you need, like, you use the word we a lot. Like, I was just like, maybe it's just like, I need this, not we need this. Like, I need to just cry.
Yeah.
I need to just experience a body. I need to just touch without there being a sexual connotation to it. I need to reconnect back with myself. Or maybe it's not even you. Maybe it's yourself and a somatic healer. Again, I'm out of my pay grade here, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But
it's a thought.
Yeah.
It's valid.
I also, what I hear from this relationship that I love is that although this is, like, not to say a struggle for the two of you, but you haven't found your flow because you haven't found it with yourself yet. It doesn't sound like he's pressuring you to figure it out.
No, not at all. And sometimes I'm like, is that normal? Because that's just not what I'm used to. Like, I'm used to, like, where the pussy at, bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm used to. Like, and he's just not like that. Like, very much, take your time, like, figure it out. Like, and we're stuck at the hip anyway, in a sense that we're very, I don't want to say, what's a good word? We can sit with each other in silence for hours.
I need space like the moon. I need space.
I want you to write me a poem about I need space like the moon.
It just means not feeling pulled because the world's pulling at me. So if you don't pull at me, I'll come to you. And I go camping by myself. I'll go to the beach. I'll go to the beach by myself. And the reason I do it is because I just like the, like, I love language is being able to do that with someone that understands the, like, and doesn't need from me. They can just be next to me. That is great. I love that. I love that because it doesn't feel laborious. Sometimes you need to be on or present, and sometimes I'm just tired and I just want to be. And if you can be next to me without requiring anything of me, I love that. It's so nice.
Like, that's a level of intimacy for me. Like, yes, sex is important, yes. But if I can just sit with you and be with you, and we don't even have to talk to each other, but we're communicating through our silence, through our action, sex is great, but to me, that's like a whole other level. I've never experienced that. And he said that to me so many times. Like, I've never really experienced, like, our level of just togetherness. And, it's just beautiful.
There's something with love, there's a mix of, I love you exactly for who you are right now. You don't have to change. Like, this therapist said to me that the question she asks couples to figure out if divorce is, like, something they should consider or not is, if the person that you're with never changed, and this is who they are for the rest of their life as they are today, would you still choose to stay with them? And it's people who say yes, that there's a path to stay together. It's people who say no, you have to consider. Because what you're doing is you're married to a promise, and a promise that you can't make on behalf of somebody else. So there's something with love where you have to deeply accept somebody as they are, while also rejecting that there can't be more for them, right? Like, I see the potential in you. And it's not that you have to get to that, but I embrace the fact that you have some healing to do, or there's some change you have to make, or I have to learn to resolve conflict in a better way and learn to manage my attachment style. Like, I accept you as you are right now, and I love you as you are right now. So don't feel like you have to change in order to receive my love. But damn, I love you so much that I want more for you. And it feels like that's what your partner is providing. Both, like, space for you to be exactly as you are, and also a knowledge that there's more for you.
Yeah, I feel like that's literally him. I feel like that's literally him, and that's me for him too. Like, we have a lot of aspirations, a lot of goals. You know, we're both in the entertainment industry, and it's not easy. Like, there's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs, but we have so much faith in each other and like what our gifts are and where we can take them. And we would love to even do things together. But honestly, like, if the Jay I have today is all there would ever be, I feel like I would be okay with that. Like, I think he's already more than what I hoped for. You know, like, dating right now is, well, you wouldn't know, you married. Dating right now is not it.
Claudine's got a really amazing, incredible partner too.
Okay, see, shout out to Claudine, period. I was never gonna settle. Like, I always thought to myself, okay, if I don't find the man of my dreams or whatever, I'm just gonna go down to the clinic, have me some kids, and I'm done. Like, I'm gonna live my life with my kids, and I'm good. But he already showed up being more than what I needed, like more than what I thought I needed, more than what I wanted. And so if he stays just this way, like the exact way that he is today, I would be perfectly fine. And I feel as if he would say the same about me.
I feel that too.
Yeah, I feel like he would say the same about me. Like, it's just so much fun. Like, I've never had this much fun. Like, there's love, there's seriousness, we have plans for the future, you know, but it's so fun. Like, it's fun when we're together. It's a good time when we're together. Even in the bad times when we're dealing with certain things, there's still so much good that comes out of it. And there's just so much comfort there. There's so much like security there. There's so much trust there that if he never changed, but I have so much faith in him too that if he does change, it'll be for the better.
Yes.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I ain't got no ring on my finger yet. But this is for life. Like, I don't see anybody else for me.
So in knowing that you're with the person you want to be with the rest of your life,
Yeah.
that they love you as you are with your whole life,
Yeah.
both behind you as it is today and what it is in front of you.
Yeah.
What feels like the next right step when it comes to addressing your sexual trauma?
I mean, I know he's gonna watch this episode and be like, what the hell? Because there are some things I shared that I haven't told him about, like my trauma. So I know he's gonna be like, dang, I didn't know that. Like, he's gonna feel, it's gonna be a little sadness there. So I'm kind of like, ooh.
I'm going to send this to you first.
No, I'm comfortable with everything.
I'm
yes.
going to send it to you first to have that moment because
Yeah.
I want you to have that. And then maybe if you want to share with him.
Yeah.
And then have that.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'm totally comfortable with everything I've said. But I know him, and I know he's gonna be like, you know, he's gonna feel a little like, dang, I didn't know that. But I think the next step for us, like I told him, I said, hey, why don't we try? I've never done like sex therapy. I've never done like, I see people do Kama Sutra. I've never done those types of things. And I kind of just want to take that leap. And he's never done that. And I think like for us, like that's not something that is like encouraged. It's like, we fucking, you know what I mean? Like, we just fucking. Like, it should just be, we fucking, you know? But I think there are just other levels that I think we can get to. And also, I want to get to know myself better. I want to get to know my body better. I want to get to know like the different buttons. What does this button do? When I press this nipple, what does it do? You know what I'm saying? Like when I press this ass cheek, what does it do? Is the left lip, you know, is the left lip the most sensation? Like I just want to know like myself better because I do feel that there's a bit of unfairness from me to expect him to figure it out. And I feel like I have kind of pushed that on him a little bit. Like, you know, you figure it out. And that's just not, And he's asked me, he's like,
And it's not what you need.
no, but he's asked me, he's like, okay, so what do you like? So, and I'll be like, I don't know, like, you know, and I'm like, you're the guy. And this sounds so dumb. Like, it sounds so dumb as I'm saying it. But I'm like, you're the guy, like, figure it out, you know what I mean? And that's just not how that works. So I need to know myself better. And I think this conversation just really like, because I've been saying this to myself for a minute, I need to wake myself up, know myself better, know what I really, really like. Because if you ask me right now, Shan, what I really like in the bedroom, I can't tell you. I just can't tell you. I know I like kissing.
But you know what you don't like.
I know what I don't like.
And I love that
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. I know what I don't like. But if you ask me, so what turns you on? I can't tell you. And I feel so bad. Like, it's just so like, I feel like at my big age, my tender age of 53, I should know. I should know, like, but I don't, and I've never done the homework. And I feel like if I do that homework, then we can really get better, and it's not all on him, because he's willing, like, he's open, he's willing, he's ready to do whatever I'd like. It's just really me. It's really just me. I'm the problem.
No.
Well, okay.
Do you know what? It actually, I was inspired by hearing you say, it's just me. It's
Yeah.
really just me. That's how it was supposed to have been. It wasn't supposed to have been anybody else
Yeah.
defiling you, touching you.
Yeah.
It was only supposed to be you. It's only supposed to be your body. It's only supposed to be your choice.
Yeah.
It's your decision if it's a condom or no condom. It's
Yes.
supposed to be you.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, like, what a gift to have a partner who is both directive and dominating in the ways that you need, and also allowing for you to take the lead in an area that you really need to.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I'd love that for you.
Yeah.
I asked you that question too, kind of like a trick question, because trick is the wrong word, but I wanted to give you the options, but I was like, oh, I'll see what you say. Because I feel like it sounded like I was saying, what are you gonna do next?
Right.
Because the truth is, you actually don't have to do anything next. And that's also the gift you can give yourself of like, this is a long life. And when you're with somebody that you know you're gonna be with for a long time, we got time.
Yeah.
You know, and if right now there's something else more pressing for you, and somebody else who's watching this who is a sexual assault victim, who's kind of feeling like, I should do something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's inspiring to hear Jessie say like, not now.
Yeah.
But if it's calling you now, then
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I think that's a really beautiful place too.
I think it's just for me, I'm like, I have just a little bit of urgency because we want to have a family, we want to have kids, and I do not want to have kids and be trying to figure it out then. I feel like, you know, when I see folks who have children, you add children to the mix, and it's like, you know, like, no, I want to have that figured out before I have children. And then, like, when I have children, when I have a daughter, when I have a son, but especially when I have a daughter, like, I want to be able to tell her things that my mom didn't tell me. I want to be able to talk to her about things that my mom didn't talk to me about. Like, I don't want her to think that sex is just, like, a thing you have to do or a thing that just happens. Like, okay, he likes you, y'all been together 90 days, all right, fuck him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that for my daughter. I want my future daughter to know this is something that you should enjoy, it should be empowering, it should be special, it should be, like, romantic. You should feel like a little Disney princess. Like, why not? Like, it should feel like that, and I want that for my future child. Like, so I need to know that, because I can't tell her something that I don't know. So...
Well, I'd love to help you.
Please.
And there's a couple of ideas that I came to mind as you were talking that I want to send and give to you. But yeah, like, I just want to say you deserve the best, and I want to offer help wherever I possibly can. And thank you for sharing your story. It was so powerful and beautiful. You are so powerful and beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So are you, girl. So are you. This is, honestly, I've never had this type of conversation, child. Not like this. So that's how powerful you are, child.
I really just let you do your thing, and you were amazing. You took the lead, and I loved every moment of it.
Oh, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you, Shan.
Thank you. Can we all just give a big outpouring of love to Jessie Woo for showing up with vulnerability, humor, and heart? Her voice is a reminder that healing is personal, non-linear, and deeply human. Follow her at the Jessie Woo on Instagram, YouTube, and tune into her podcast, which I love, A Couple of Things with Jessie Woo. Up next, I don't want to talk about people behind their back, so I had to put in a call to see if the sexual assault and trauma expert that I love and admire and spoke about in the episode could come back and speak to the lovers community and all of you to make sure that we feel inflated and activated after this very hard and sadly hardly uncommon conversation. So everyone, please join me in welcoming Jimanekia Eborn. Usually after the podcast, we all sit and we just chat about it together. And so I do want to hear from everybody here about what their thoughts were on the Jessie Woo episode. But somebody who I mentioned in the episode, whose thoughts I was dying to get because they're profound and qualified,
that's what they say.
is Jimanekia Eborn.
So I'll do the quick origin story. I'm a child of trauma. So I always like to start it off with I'm going to say a few hard things. So I'm a child of trauma. That is my origin story. And I think that's really important to understand where we begin and where we are and where we're going. My mother was murdered in front of me at 1, which started my journey wanting to work with domestic violence survivors. When I got older, I started studying psychology at 16. And then when I got into sex ed, I was like, oh, the toys and the lubes and all the things and the orgasms, but what about the people that can't get there? So I learned about alternative medicine. I've studied law. I've studied criminal justice. I have studied health psychology. I've studied alternative medicine to be able to figure out what the roots are for talking about more grief, because I think grief is really big for a lot of us. And as survivors, we're constantly in something, and especially like what the world is worlding, a lot of us feel like we're losing parts of ourselves and or we're remembering other parts, and then we have that grief. Also, talk therapy is not for everyone. It's a bodily thing that happens to you, so why are we just sitting here running our mouths? Somatic therapy is great. We got to move. We have to release. And there's so many ways. Listen, I would be like, what, you want to dance? You want to do a little twerking? Listen, I'm a Black lady. Twerking through your hips, we hold a lot of things in there. Do that. If you want to run around, if you want to do yoga, if you want to just stretch and talk. I've had clients who are like, can we go to the weed lounge? And that's where I feel like I can really exist and stretch and while we talk. Sure. Right? Like if that is what feels good to allow you to open up some of that movement. Again, if something happens to me physically and I'm only talking about it, I'm still holding it. I'm not releasing any of it. And I don't think that that's helpful.
Did you get a chance to listen to the Jessie episode?
I did.
What did you hear? What stood out to you? What do you wish was said or asked?
I think her comfortability and like feeling safe with you was really important. And she's like, I've never talked about this. And I think once you find your people that you feel safe with, like it allows for you to find ways of healing. Right. And I think that showed up to me, that she was like, I've never had this conversation. Like for you to even sit with her and be like, I'm not the expert, but I know things and I can support you. That is something a lot of people don't ever get to. I think being able to see a survivor go, I'm ready to receive. I think those are points that people don't realize, because it takes a long time to be ready to receive. I thought that was really cool. I love when survivors find love. I was like, you better get you some love, girl. And to have someone that matched her energy and also matched her pace. I think that's also really important. We are finding partnership and finding people who want to have sex with again, because again, survivors want to have sex. Do I find that a lot of people are like, well, I want to get better for my person. And I will question them, like, what does that mean? Why do you want to get better for that person? Why are you overlooking yourself? And then being able to go, I am allowed. There's permission, that I think a lot of us forget is like, you're also allowed to be centered. Like you are allowed to be taken care of, because then in a lot of our heads, we start feeling I'm too much. I'm a burden. But again, I think sexual assault is a community issue. And so having your community is also really helpful. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a partner. As someone that has been non-monogamous, we know that you need other people. You can't put everything on one person. I got a therapist, shout out to Betty. Betty been with me since 2019. I have an amazing group of friends. I have friends in different areas that can show up for me in different ways. So being able to go, okay, I am so glad that this person can be attached to this, but this isn't about them. Because at the end of the day, our love friend, you made it die, that person may leave. And then what? And then what? Do you feel like you've put all these things in that person and then you feel like, well, I've lost everything I've worked for because they were invested in that person? No, invested in you. I always say that you should take care of your star player, and your star player is yourself.
I want to just like really double click on that. I'll put the chat view on. If anyone has any questions, please chime in, or extra things that you want to click on, because what rang really loud for me just now is sexual assault is a community issue. I just want you to say more about that.
Yes. Yes. So I believe that sexual assault is a community issue because, one, we're both in the community. Oftentimes we are harmed by people that we know. Sure, is the dark alley all the things? Sometimes. Oftentimes it's people that you trust and you have connection with. They might be family members, might be friends.
Isn't that 88% or in the high 80s?
Absolutely. I was assaulted by someone I had been with before. I woke up, that man was standing over me. And so we're already in the same community. So now we're in connection. That's a community issue. The ways that we uphold survivors and or don't, that's a community issue. The ways that we uphold perpetrators and don't, that's a community issue. The ways that oftentimes we start to question the survivor, I think that's a community issue. And so with that, what kind of language did you receive? Did you know yes and no? Did you learn safe touch, bad touch? Like, you know, people use different language. Like, did you learn about body parts? Did you learn that no actually means no and doesn't mean try harder? Right? These are community issues in the ways that we uphold all of this. The ways that we throw in white supremacy, I'm gonna throw it in because it fits in everywhere, right? Like those types of things and the adaptability of the ways that people show up, I think that's a community issue. And again, after the harm has been caused, is the community feeling, or is the community safe enough for that person to feel like they can go to them? And if they don't, that's where we need to question that community.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if that really like hits anybody else in the feels. I don't know what phase I'm on right now of my cycle, because it's just hitting me in the feels, because I think a lot of people feel like they are the issue in the community. Sexual assault is a community issue. Also really hits home for right now for what's happening in the news cycle, because we can tend to really other this. And then even for me, and somebody who doesn't make this a primary focus of what I talk about when I talk about sex, which actually I'll just say that Ashley C. Ford gave me something that was such a gift to me. She said that rape is not sex and sexual assault is not sex.
Nope. That is harm, that is abuse.
And it's often not the same goal. The person who...
Not at all.
Right. The person who assaulted you, the person who raped you.
Power.
Yes.
There's difference between power and there's difference between connection, enjoyment, pleasure. Those are different things. Where most people are not raping them just because, oh, I'd like to get an orgasm. Sex workers are real and have been here longer than we have, right? Like if it was just about having that ejaculation, that moment, that's easy to do. You also have hands, right? It's about power. It's about control. It's about feeling bigger than that person. And that's the thing. It's never just about the sex.
Yes. I think that reframe is so helpful to acknowledge that you didn't. And I actually really enjoy even hearing you say that about your sperm donor. You don't refer to him as your father.
No.
Or as your dad.
That's a gift that he didn't get.
Yeah. And that's even, I think, it's the reframe of stuff that's like, hey, I don't have to say, even sexual assault, this doesn't have to feel sexual. This was a violent assault on my genitals. And so allowing yourself to separate the two, to acknowledge that sex is something very different.
Sure.
And that there's not a relationship between those two instances. But
sex is a choice, right? You get to opt in for that. You didn't opt in for sexual assault. That already just changes the dynamic quickly. You're like, oh, this wasn't a choice. That's when we're having sex that we enjoy and do the things. That's a choice. You'd be like, okay, here's the kind of the sex I want to have today. That's a choice. Not, oh, I woke up and this person was standing over me naked with a condom on. I didn't have a choice. Except how do I want to exist and my body just responded, right? Those are two different things. Yeah.
When we say sexual assault as a community, it took me to a million different thoughts. But one of them too,
right? Let's go. We got time.
It also is the thought that for me, as someone who doesn't necessarily talk about sexual assault very often in my work, there is a fear that like I'm going to be. It's because you don't expect it from me. It's going to be extremely triggering. It's harmful for me to
We've
even
talked about this before.
Yes. Yeah. Even for me in building out this episode, I'm like, okay, I have to build in trigger warnings into every single social clip I put in, into every single caption, into every this. And what I'm essentially saying is like, you don't have to watch this, but maybe you do. Because if it's a community issue, maybe you do.
I think there's a lot of, here we go. I'm about to piss people off. It's my favorite. I think in this country, in the US, it's a very numbing place. Like, that is just the Western idea. We give you a pill, get you quiet, get your shit together. Again, somebody been calling me a hippie lately, and I might receive it. I want to be connected to like what's happening. I want to know what's going on in my body. I don't want to be so numb that I'm like, I don't know, I'm sitting there half asleep, right? And so if we're going to keep having that conversation about our bodies and about community and understanding, we have to go, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be hard. It's going to be messy. And that's okay. Like, being able to open the door and go, this isn't going to look the same for you. It's not going to look the same for me. But it doesn't make it bad. It just makes it where I am. I think that's helpful.
When we're watching things happen in the mass media,
Yeah.
how should we be responding as a community?
Believing the survivor first. Not questioning the survivor, questioning all the actual details. There were drugs. There was people not listening to her no. Those are the big things out the thing. Once we are drugged, can you really give consent fully? Right? You can't. And so if we just actually listened, and also opinions are like assholes and we all have them, and sometimes we don't need to share them.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to be quiet. Who did I see? Rapper. I'm not gonna mention his name. He don't get the shine. But some man was like, clearly she liked it and she liked the money and she changed her mind. But you just said she changed her mind. I am more concerned that right now Dawn Richards is on the stand and she is recanting years of harm. We are overlooking the main issue, which is that multiple people have been harmed. I don't care how much money someone makes. I don't care who you put on. That doesn't matter. Let's get to the facts and the basics of this person was harmed and there's evidence.
Do you think that there's a need to edit? I even had this reflection point when I was re-listening to the episode of like, should I edit down the part where she is talking and detailing the abuse? Or is it important?
I think it's important. I think it's important, one, because she chose to share her story. Right? And so to be able to sit down and go, I'm ready to do this thing, she trusted you to hold that space and go, I trust that this platform and this person is going to keep me safe. And so she decided to share that. So you're holding space and supporting her in that way. But also, again, Western society, let's dumb it down. Let's just like call it something else. Like, shh. No, naming it for what it is, it also allows people to go, oh, that's real. And put something in their head, because I don't know about you, when I was growing up, the rapists or the bad guys or whoever, it was always an older man. Sexual assault, rape can happen at all ages. My first job in mental health, I was 23, I worked with juvenile sex offenders. They weren't those grown, scary men. They ranged from 11 to 18. So I think it's really important to also go, protect your family, sometimes from your family. And people don't want to have those honest conversations. Again, a community issue. She went and told people. She did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
She did what she was supposed to do. She went to the people that were supposed to love and protect her, and they failed. And so also, we can note, and I want other people to go, I get it, because that also happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's that community of like, oh, there's other people that had the same thing. So even hearing it or seeing it, you might be allowing someone to go, okay, maybe I'm not alone in this.
Mm-hmm. There was something that I asked you to do. So I'm going to take a pause probably right now on our podcast recording component of this and talk more with the community itself. Because
Sure.
I often, so thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in a second. So bye. Big shout out to the Lovers by Shan community. This is a space that I created for people who love love. It's for those of us who are passionate about reaching our intimate potential. On my site, you're going to find an AI trained on 20 years of my work where you can ask any questions. You'll also find free quizzes and resources, plus a place to sign up for my weekly newsletter, and last, but certainly not least, information on the Lovers by Shan community. If you want to be a part of intimate conversations just like the one you just saw, join the waitlist, and hopefully I'll meet you soon, lover.